was faced with the Great Depression, William Mackenzie King just turned away.
I refuse to provide federal funding for unemployment in provinces. It is the province's responsibility to provide relief for its citizens.
That's why you lost to me, R.B. Bennett, in the 1930 election. B. Bennett, that's my name. I made relief camps in Kentucky Canadian slang. I came up with the Unemployment Relief Act of 1930, which gave $20 million towards emergency relief. But this was a failure.
Boo!
Why, you ask? Because I required provincial and local governments to cover 75% of the cost. So provinces and local governments went bankrupt.
Boo! Bennett!
Also increased tariffs, Bennett tariffs, on most manufactured goods that could be produced in Canada. This was not my sharpest idea because I also increased tariffs, known as Bennett tariffs, on most manufactured goods that could be produced in Canada. This wasn't one of my sharpest ideas because of raising tariffs. It reduced the import cuts of Canadian exports. Darn it!
Let me tell you about those relief camps. We were getting 20 cents a day, bad condition. It was just hopeless. So me and my pal here, we decided to hit the road, hit the road, Jack. We hopped on the train. We were traveling with 1,000 others. We were hopping from province to province. We met up with another 1,000. We hit Ottawa. We were on the Ottawa track. And then Bennett and his policies, he said no! The fact that we were traveling to find better work. We just wanted to work, So what happened was he got some cops that came over. They tried to stop us. One policeman was shot. I was like, you know what? This is too much for me. I ran. A couple of my buddies died, and 130 were arrested. It was a tragic day. Bennett referred to us as lawbreakers. Can you believe the man? I just wanted to get a job, and he said I was a lawbreaker.
Due to Bennett's failures, Mackenzie is
Back! That's right, I won the 1950 election, but I still don't know how to solve the Great Depression. I did do some things, I signed a trade agreement with the United States in 1935, and later on, Britain did join this trade agreement. I also offer loans to multiple local improvements and passed a National Housing Act to try to encourage the building of homes. The government, under me, also reduced some taxes and offered some tax exemptions for private investors. I tried my hardest, but sometimes things don't always work out the way it's supposed to be. It looks like me and Bennett got some learning to do. All started with the Pearl Harbor attack on the United States. I'm a Japanese Canadian, but with the Japanese attack, it started a racial uproar against me and my fellow people. People were already discriminating against me, but when the Pearl took away our fishing boats and we weren't allowed to be in the Canadian Army or the military, they were fearing Japanese sabotage, but we did not identify with the Japanese.
Just go.
Not long after the Pearl Harbor attack, persecution intensified on December 18, 1941, due to the Battle of Hong Kong. Canadian militia was issued in the colony of Hong Kong to try to help its mother crown the British in the World War II. Not long after Canadian militia arrived, we were attacked by the Japanese. Most of the Canadians The Canadians in Hong Kong died or were held prisoners of war and then died later. Tragic day for Canada. After that, no jabs from the Rockies to the seas. That was the slogan of British Columbia. We were asked to exit the Canadian area of British Columbia, and we were moved to the outskirts of British Columbia. While we were waiting to be transported to these camps, we were held in Vancouver's Hastings Park. This was a place of stables and barnyards, and we lived here for a long time in an unsanitary environment. I was separated from my wife and my children. We worked hard, and all our property, all our money, everything we had in Canada was stripped away from us. Our identity was lost. Finally, even after the end of World War II, Canadian, Japanese, Canadian internment continues. So, not long though, soon, on April 1st, 1949, we were given our freedom again. And 43 years after the war, Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, bless him, gave us a compensation of $21,000 because we were wronged. That still doesn't cover our suffering, but it helps.
Hello, I'm John Diefenbaker. I'm Canada's 13th Prime Minister. I'm part of the Progressive Conservative Party. So I was a populist leader. Yes, I was. Some of my policies include the Canadian Bill of Rights, which extended the federal vote to First Nation people in Canada. I was also, foreign policies include the Columbia River Treaty, which is an agreement between Canada and the U.S., and we were to build dams in Upper Columbia Basin for power and flood control. I also sent 25,000 troops into the Korean War. And I also got Canada to join NATO. Yes, I did a lot during my presidency, that's right. One of my biggest failures was the 15% debacle. Anyways, I was interested in strengthening ties to the Commonwealth in order to distance myself from the United States. So I announced that I would divert 15 of Canada's purchases from the United States to the United Kingdom. This was just a careless statement because I could not possibly deliver this without reducing tariffs to the point where Canada manufacturing would be destroyed by British imports. So I'm sorry for this, Canada. I really am. That was one of my failures. Dear Diary, it's my time to reflect on the CF-105 Arrow. I couldn't convince anyone that the fighter was ready, but the fighter was to be built for Canadian conditions, but they needed foreign buyers as well. So the Arrow was scrapped. Now, the Arrow was replaced by U.S. anti-air missiles. I worked with the United States for this, and it just made our relationship stronger.
My name is Sean DeSish, and I'm leader of the silent revolution in Quebec. This was a period of a lot of changes, such as modernization and a fight for biculturalism, and because we had previously been in a bad period. This dog did not like what happened in Quebec before, and this is why she inspired me to lead the silent revolution. We just wanted two languages, the French and the English language, all into one Canadian province. I think that was a perfectly great fight because we wanted to lead Quebec out of the previous dark ages under Duplessis.